877 4PI Radio.
Hello, I'm Jerry Pearson. I'm the Radio Detective. The Radio Detective program airs Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific. You can get it on the net at www.theradiodetective.com. I'm a long-time licensed private investigator. I'm also a former top-level cop, so I've had a great deal of experience, and on my show, I bring those experiences to you by way of stories. Not stories I read someplace, stories about my life. I enjoy talking to my audience every night. And, you know, when we get into some of the things that are going on today in the world, we talk about that as well. Because almost all politics ties to crime in one form or another. You tune in to Jerry Pierce, the Radio Detective, and I think you'll like it. Look forward to seeing you.
877 4PI Radio.
I'm Jerry Pierce, the Radio Detective. I want to talk to you for just a moment. You know, there's an old saying in law enforcement, to protect and to serve. I think nowadays that's beginning to be, you know, to surveil and control. We want to stay away from that, folks. We really do. I'm very proud of the fact that I was a deputy sheriff at one time. In fact, this is the last badge I used when I was on the job. This is a lieutenant's badge. It used to fit right up there when I was working. Now this badge means a lot to me because it means I was entrusted by the folks in my community to wear this badge. I was entrusted to watch them, to protect them, to serve them. And I take great pride in that fact. Now, if there's any young police officers and deputy sheriffs watching, there's an attitude now in law enforcement I don't like. It's an arrogance, and I don't like it. It takes only a minute to go to a citizen, say hello, and shake their hand, and let them know that you're human too. Now, I belong to that brotherhood for quite a while. I have a great reputation in that brotherhood that carries with me to this day. I still work with law enforcement in my private investigation practice. And I'm just saying to you that when you're entrusted to wear something like this, it carries a great deal of responsibility. And part of that responsibility is to be a decent person. That's part of it. It will always be part of it. Doesn't mean you have to be a coward, doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just simply show a little bit of concern for your fellow citizen that has allowed you, as a law enforcement officer, to carry a badge or a shield, depending on where you work. That's all. I just wanted to get that across. I just needed to say it, and I did. Thank you very much. Welcome back to program 1-877-474-7234. Get you on the show. We're talking to Zorin in Australia. Zorin, welcome back. And what do you think about those news articles you read, Zorin?
Well, it absolutely disgusts me to think that, you know, the guys that fought the wars lost their mates, their friends by thousands, lost their livings, and are now going to get some kind of a 50% reduction in their remuneration while they're supposed to be in their retirement, enjoying themselves, and benefiting somehow from, you know, having promoted this American globalization over the last 40 years all over the world. Now they're getting their funds cut. That, I think, is actually a lesson for anybody today that actually works for the establishment that thinks that they're all invincible and, you know, like George Bush said, you're either with us or you're against us, whatever. You know, everybody thinks, oh, we're with the government, we say yes, great. Well, guess what? 20 years down the track, same stuff will happen to the guys today. It is just so shameful, you know, that American government can get $1.5 trillion to the private banks, but they forget the guys who's lost his arm in Vietnam. That's sad. Very sad.
Zorin, when you take a look at what's going on in this country up here,
from your perspective, do you see the dots all connecting? I mean, tell me what you see from where you're at.
What I see, Jerry, is what any normal person sees on a daily basis. Whether you're pouring a scotch right now, a very fine cognac, or whether you're just popping on a basic Marlboro Light, basically what anybody has to see is that this whole debt, global news, all over the world. Why? Because every country in the world is being run by a private central bank. And nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever says, why is Greece in trouble? I'm sorry, Greece would never be in trouble if they were printing their own money. If their own government was printing their own money. No. Now they've got the European Central Bank printing their money. America. You know that the Federal Reserve is literally that it's as federal as the FedEx. You know what I'm saying? This is where the problem is. But unfortunately, it's such a big problem that these people have got the whole of the whole world now. We can't even rise up. We can't even complain about it. I shouldn't even talk about it. They're probably tracing my call. You know what I'm saying? This is how endemic it has become throughout the entire planet. It's terrible. It's almost like, you know, I'm looking at America today, I'm sort of wishing, hoping that there's going to be some kind of an uprising. People will rise up and wake up and say, hey, come on, you know, let's, you know, abide by the Constitution here. Guess what? In Washington, they've got a shredder machine where they are ripping up the Constitution and putting it right through the shredder machine as we speak. Page by page, page 2, page 3, page 4, and guess what? Nobody cares. Why? Oh, because there's a game on. There's a rugby on. Oh, sorry, there's a, you know, the, whatever. Playing basketball and basketball and you name it. Bingo, yeah. People are too blinded. It is no different from the way it was 2,000 years ago when Julius Caesar was running the people in the middle of the Colosseum where the men were fighting the lions. And people were cheering on, kill the lion, or should the lion kill the man? It's no different. Yeah. Except today it's on a global scale. Should we bomb more people in Libya? Or should we just refrain a little bit? It is terrible.
Well, wait a minute. Now, when you talk to that issue, Zorin, I've said on this program, I've connected the dots, and that Obama is put in there in place by whoever, your bankers or whoever, to cause all this to happen at one time. This is not a spontaneous uprising. In my opinion, it's an organized deal. But going back to Egypt and Mubarak, the view with Gaddafi, do you see the Muslim Brotherhood filling in? And then you go to them now in those areas. Each time a country falls, the Muslim Brotherhood moves in. What do you make of that, Zorin?
You know what amazes me the most, that no popular media in America catches up on this, is the fact that if you just wind back and just Google Gaddafi or Mubarak about back in the G8 or the G20 just 3 or 4 years ago, they were shaking hands to solve the problem. Why? Because they do not yet have a central banking system in place that's run by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And that's why all people have always some kind of a problem, apparently.
Yeah. Well, the central banking system, when you stop and step back from it, Zorin, fits the profile of communism to a T. By having centralized government, centralized banking, that all feeds right into the Marxist idea, does it not?
Absolutely. I grew up in a communist system up until the age of 14. And I can tell you what, actually back then you could have a bit of a laugh. You could look around because everybody knew that the system was going bad, the system was going down, and everybody was having a good laugh about it. But today in America, I don't see people walking around themselves saying, you know what, this is a bad system we've got right here, and are we going to change it? Are we laughing? You know? Are these all the officers on your side today? No. I saw a video for crying out loud. Some people in Washington, D.C. trying to sell lemonade for 10 cents a pop. They all got arrested. What? You know, this is crazy. This is just unbelievable. There is no freedom. This beacon of freedom of America, I I wish that people in India knew this, or people in China always talk about, oh, America's got so much freedom, and we don't have a democracy in China. Guess what? In China, you know what you can do? You can become a millionaire overnight. You set up a few hot dog stands on 17 of the best street corners, and you start making 150 grand a month, Jerry. That's what you can do in China. That's why I call capitalism, my friend, under communist rule. You try and do that in America today, or in Australia. Good luck to you.
No, anymore.
In Australia, 20 years ago, you know what they said to us? No, we only have 3 licenses. All the bands in this city, and guess who owns them? The guy that was in charge of issuing the licenses. So that's what you call democracy. You know what?
That's right. You got that right, Zorin. You nailed it. Well, in your own country, back in Europe, I mean, you saw what happened there. So you're speaking from experience, and you're seeing it happen again. So in the last minute here, what do we do now, Zorin? Tell us what to do up here.
Oh, Jerry, I'm going back to life. You know what to do. You know, I'm a very peaceful, harmonious sort of guy. The only thing I'm wishing for and hoping is that people will wake up. That people will look around and say, enough is enough. And go to your local parliamentary guy, I don't know what you call them in the local state or a city or whatever. Walk up from the house and say, hey, what are you doing? Enough is enough. It's like you're the driver of the bus. And we don't like the way the bus is, where the bus is going. So turn the wheel. Go to your local guy and start turning the wheel. Every local guy that's got any opinion, any smart ideas, get elected.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to help you guys. I'm just an observer. It's like that George. Great to see America back the way it used to be, back in the 60s and 70s and all the rest. Thank you. You know.
That's right.
That's all.
That's right. That's it. Zorin, you nailed it. We're going to do our best. You keep us on our toes, will you? Stay after us. Get up here and see us.
I will, Jerry, I will. You take care, my friend.
All right, Zorin. I will. Thank you for the call. Be good down there and don't get in trouble. Australia. That's it. And then when are you going back to Thailand?
Couple of weeks, Jerry, couple of weeks. You know, and the funny thing is, Thailand, people think third world countries, you know what's funny about Thailand? People over here, they're running around on a little motorbike selling like a soup. You know what they make every day? At least $100 a day. And yet people in America think, oh, those poor little guys, absolute boys.
Yeah.
They make more money over here, out of the motorcycle, than you can do in America. Because in America now, you can't even feed poor people or homeless people. It is horrible.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Horrible.
Well, Zorin, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. By the way, I'll say this about you. You're a great American, Zorin. You are a great American. I wish you were here. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the call. That's Zorin out of Australia. He joined us about 2 years ago. Said he'd been listening, all of a sudden he called up.
877